So we're gonna start tearing down, if we can, the 400. We're gonna attempt to get the crank and the rods out today. As maybe you've seen, maybe you've not. We'll probably show it here later. A couple of these pistons are pretty well froze up in here. We spun a bearing right here. You can see that stuff sticking out. That's all bearing material. So this is going to be real interesting, but I think we can we can do something with it. We'll figure something out. This cap's loose. We'll just pop that out right now. Sweet. Anywho, but that looks funky. That cap looks awful strange. Anyway, we're gonna start working on this thing, and yeah, here we go. Okay, so what I'm trying to do right now, and you can't really see it because of the lighting is poor, but down in there, in this bore, this was the one that spun the bearing. It's the only cylinder with some real damage in it. And right at the top of the, maybe you can see it, probably not, right up here at the very bottom of the bore, in like the bottom 1/4 inch. There's a little chunk missing. So I'm trying to see how much that's going to be an issue. How much of this piston comes in contact with that before going back up. I don't think it's going to end up being an issue. I don't have bearings in this crankshaft or any of this stuff because obviously they're crapping. And I just took them all out. So I think we got plenty of meat of the piston that side of the crack. It's barely touching the piston skirt. It's barely getting onto it. So right there, sorry about the terrible camera work. Let's try over here. So right there, the piston skirt is at the very bottom of the bore. Right there. And now, come on. Keep turning the crank. And that is the bottom of the stroke right there. So, I mean, it would get into it, but it wouldn't get much into the face of the piston, really, or the true side of the piston. What we'll be looking at is the damage will be riding up to about here. So literally just this part of the skirt will be hanging down where it could touch that damage. If we hone it good and even file it down a little bit more at the bottom there, it shouldn't be an issue at all to make this a decent running motor. Obviously. Okay, so my camera battery died here on my phone. Well, phone battery, whatever, as I was talking. So I got all this stuff out. Oh, this battery's dead too. Nice. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to use a flashlight to show you. But without the piston here, you can kind of see it right there, okay? That's the damage. I think if we file it down a little bit so it's nice and smooth on the edges, right? And then we put the hone in it, get them all cleaned up. They're really not bad. They got a bunch of trash in them, but none of it's like pitted in the walls, okay? This is all built up. It's not pitted in yet, okay? So we should be able to hone this out, keep it a 4145 bore and make it run like this. So I don't think the block is going to need any machine work. Doesn't look like, at least. I haven't seen any cracks or whatever anywhere other than that bit right there. You know, this thing seems to be in really good shape, actually, which is a big surprise from what I thought, because I thought we were going to have to punch the bores out because of those pistons being stuck in there. I thought this was all going to be pitted out, but even this is raised nastiness, not pitted in there. So, you know, we'll clean it up first with the hone, which I don't have with me yet. So once we do that, you know, we'll make sure that it doesn't need to go to the machine shop before we buy any more parts for it. But it's looking pretty good, you know. I have all the bolts, all the caps right there. They're in order. Obviously, it's going to need new pistons. And might as well do pistons and rods, right? And the crankshaft is definitely going to need to either get replaced or polished at a machine shop. And we're going to compare prices. I know you can get a scat cast crankshaft for one of these things for around $200. Definitely cheaper than $300. So I don't know how much it will be to get this thing polished and whatever up at a machine shop, but it's pretty tempting to just buy a new crank, especially with the lead times at machine shops right now. I don't want to, you know, 6-8 weeks, whatever, just to turn a crankshaft if I wanted it, you know, where I could get a new one in 2 days, you know. So that may play a factor as well. But all the cam bearings are still in this thing right now. The camshaft looked decent, but I'm going to replace it and run something else because I didn't have all the lifters for it. It's flat tappet cam, so you can't just replace one lifter because that's just not how it's done on a flat tappet cam. I'm sure you probably could and get away with it, but if I want to sell this thing, we're not going to do that. So this is going to get a new cam kit. I'll figure out whether there's going to be a roller. Probably not going to be a roller just because of the price. But new cam, probably new crank, new pistons, new rods. But the fact that this thing doesn't have to go to the machine shop, most likely, still not 100% sure on that, to get the bores bored out, that really makes me excited. So we're going to go ahead and try and scrape some of this gunk out of here, get this cleaned up as best as I can, get some of this nasty cleaned off of it. Just scrape it all up and get it as clean as I can. I'm going to take my studs out, obviously, and put them back in the box because those are for the 355. Anyway, yeah. Get this all cleaned up, get the gasket scraped off of it, this taken off. Probably just throw this away. Well, I might keep the plate, we'll see. I have a mechanical fuel pump around here somewhere that I can put on it. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty excited with what we found here. So, anyway, I'm just going to be scraping on this. I'll probably not even bother to video it because it's really boring, and honestly, this is not the most exciting video. I doubt it'll get many views. We'll see. But I'm just going to finish scraping this up and tearing it down. So, yeah, that's it for this video.